Hello and welcome back to Healthy Spouse, Healthy House. My name is Tony and my channel focuses on health, wellness, and relationships. I believe that there are 15 different areas of health that any one person can work on at any point in time in their lives. So each week I ask you to join me as I introduce, define, and discuss each one of these areas of health. And then in the end, y'all, we make plans and we make goals so that we can become healthier in these areas. Now, this week's area of health is political health, right? And to be quite honest, political health is something that I got into a little later on in life when I started to really get into where I was living and stuff, and we'll talk more about that later. But let me define what political health is. No, political health is knowing and understanding the activities associated with the governance of a country or other area, like your state or your county or your city or town. It also includes being aware of those that are in office right now, and also being aware of those that are running for office, knowing who they are, knowing what they stand for, and if you're into that sort of thing, knowing what their political party is. Also, when you're politically healthy, you are aware of the laws of the country that you live in the city and state and county that you live in. And I would even venture to say to know the laws of the places that surround where you live in, I had a conversation with my friend the other day, and we were talking about specific laws that are lenient in one state, but at the same time is more restrictive in another state. And if you live in a tri-state area, you have to be aware of certain laws where if you step over that line, you could, get reprimanded for doing something that you are freely able to do in another state or however. So just letting you know. And I would also say to, like, when you're traveling and different things like that, whether it's locally or whether it's, on the other side of this nation or even internationally, to know what the laws are to wherever you are traveling to. That's a huge thing. Now, I wanted to share a quick story time and I wanted to talk to you guys about a certain politician that kind of shaped a lot of my political views and the things that I used to think or still kind of think about politics and politicians. Now, when I was younger, we had a mayor in DC named Mayor Marion Barry, and this mayor was revered for all the things that he had done. I mean, loved and appreciated and honored for all the things that he had done for the youth and just and the different programs that he had implemented in DC. And but this mayor was so flawed in the things and in his personal life and stuff, y'all. He was flawed, right? And this made me think about politicians and politics and how we decide who's going to be in office. And trying to decide, like, if we're going to put someone in office and we're judging them or basing it on the content of their character or even their resume and the things that they've done in the past, or let's look at their track record, or if we decide like just based on what party they represent, and then some people they use they use all of that to make decisions on who it is they want in office at that time. But yeah, so and that's how it's been for me when I am voting and when I'm trying to figure out who's going to be in office. But a lot of times it feels like I am trying to choose between the lesser of two evils. Like, can I deal with this person and what they, their flaws, or this person and their flaws? Let me see, which flaws are the worst? I don't know. But So anyway, I don't know what that is. so anyway, so I also wanted to uh, say this, that we don't just vote for the president. We vote in different elections throughout our lives, right? So the presidential election, I guess that's the biggest one. But at the same time, we vote in the congressional elections, and those happen. Actually, we have one coming up in November of this year. But a congressional election happens every 2 years, and congressional elections determine who represents your state in Congress. It also decides which political party um, will hold the majority in each chamber of Congress for the next 2 years. And for those people that ascribe to a political party, that may be very, very important for you. Also, we do our state, and we have our state and our local levels, and those things, or those elections, happen yearly. And it can take place any year at various times throughout the year. There can be a statewide election for your mayor, for your governor, or a state legislator. A city may elect its mayor at that time, or during the elections. There may be elections for like your judges and your local officials. And then you're voting also on certain initiatives and things like that. And so there was a time where I really felt like my vote and my voice didn't really matter. But like I said, it took me to really dig my heels into a place to really understand how voting really can change and help a community. Stay in a community long enough, and you'll start to see the changes. You'll start to see the differences that you can make with your voice and your vote. So that's really what got me into politics more. It's because I stayed in one place long enough. And then we started to dig our heels. We had other family members that were in this town, and then we started to go to a church in this town, and how we met our pastor was that he was doing community outreach, and that's how we met him. And he is a strong leader in our community. And so through him, we've learned a whole lot of things about how the community is. And also through us knowing knowing the area that we live in, us frequenting our municipal center and getting into different organizations, which help us to actually get a chance to even talk to some of these officials, because we're doing this or we're doing that, we're volunteering with this and we're doing this, and we're actually getting into those things. And that's something that I would definitely tell you to do. Start to do research in where you're living and how things are run and stuff, and that can help you even with these elections, and knowing who to vote for and where to go from there. So anyway, okay. So anyway, I wanted to end this video with giving you a few pointers when you are talking politics to family members, loved ones, or even strangers or whatever. So there's this motto that my kids' school has, and it's be respectful, be responsible, being ready to learn. I know firsthand how politics can tear up relationships and families. I know that firsthand. Politics make people very passionate about their views and what they believe. So when you are talking to people about politics, be respectful. Be respectful of them. Be respectful of their time. Be respectful of their views. Be respectful in a way where you are listening, you are taking turns, right? Also be responsible. Be responsible for what comes out of your mouth. Be responsible for your words. And if you hurt someone, and come back and say, apologize, or however, just be responsible. And how about not say anything that's hurtful in the first place? You know, there's a way that you can have a conversation about something you're passionate about without, hurting someone, in the process. Also, be ready to learn. Be ready to learn about something different and about someone else's experiences. Even if you've grown up in the same house, you don't always believe or think the same way or is passionate about certain things. All of We all have our own experiences and we all have our own journeys. And so we need to be ready to learn about someone else's experiences and journeys. And just pay attention to what other people are saying and be ready to learn something new. And don't be so tunnel visioned and, or anything like that. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to leave you guys with. Don't forget to just like, comment, or subscribe and share if you care to. May God bless us on this journey, this health journey. And I'll see you guys next week. All right, bye.